Hi guys, welcome to the event. We'll just be starting in a few minutes, so this will be the culmination of the entire camp. All right, we'll get started. People will actually join in as the event goes on. So, welcome to the guys watching live, and especially to the two winners, not the two winners, but the two contestants we have here today for the competition, which we'll get to in a bit. But welcome to all of you for the culmination of the Vidyadrishti's VD Writers Camp 2021. It's been great. This event has been absolutely wonderful. We have seen some great pieces of writing come out of it. And we have also seen some great ideas and some great thoughts. We got very good feedback, and this is the first time we're doing it. And thus, we'll be compelled to do it again in the future. One of the things we never talked to you about, though, was what we changed in terms of Vidyadrishti. Well, we have changed quite a few things, both technically and non-technically. We start with technical. All of you were requesting the site to become faster. I mean, I got a lot of emails at least requesting that the site become faster. Well, the site is faster. um, it's much faster in terms of loading times, and performance across the site is much more snappy. When we launched our quick login input, we actually got some very honest feedback about it in terms of uh, the fields and the entire system of logging in. Well, I'm happy to announce today that those have now been fixed and improved. For example, if you actually visit our website and go down to the login button, just a few months back, it would say, please fill out all the fields before clicking submit, which is very counterintuitive. Now that text is displayed below the button with a disabled button right there. Also, and this is a big one, we got a lot, and I mean a lot, of requests saying that our text for age and our limits for age were really, really blocking users from, coming onto the site. A lot of people complained that though they really liked the idea, they couldn't join because of the age issue. Guess what? Vidyadrishti is now open to everyone, regardless of your age or your gender or any other field, because we believe that equality starts from our own platform. Thus, now you can register on the site if you're 5 years old or if you're like 50, I believe. So the age barrier has been removed. But there's been a lot of things that we've talked about and a lot of things that's coming up in the 1 or 2 months. In terms of the site, we'll be talking about a few other things that is going to come up later on. But a few things that are coming up, I'd like to not show you, but talk to you about right now. Other than the website, we've had one major change to our community. And this is again big. It's the fact that people want to work with us. A lot of people, have been messaging us and telling us that they want to work with us. And though we can usually get these applications in, it never allows us to find the people that we want to that have the full potential. It never allows us to see the person who we're working with completely before we work with them. And also WhatsApp messaging for recruiting people or volunteering rather is quite counterintuitive. Well, now we actually have a form, a complete form that you can fill out. And this will be visible at vidyadrishti.net/recruit. And you can go right there, fill out the form, and submit your application to work with us. Let me just pause here for a second to tell you a bit about the different departments that you can work with us in. The first one is the content department, where you'll be, going through adminning and creating your own content in terms of writing articles on the site and off the site as well. So you'll be working there. There's also the development team. And on the development team, we actually have, I'm actually leading the team. And over there, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Shubhika is leading the content team, but she's not present here. On the development team, basically, you'll be helping out with code. Any sort of code for Vidyadrishti will be done by the developing team. Then we've got the events team led by Mr. Subramani Lakshmi. You've seen him before. He has talked a bit about, journalism, and he was the one who introduced the entire report writing competition. Let me pause here to tell you first, Steve. The events team basically focuses on events such as this one. It focuses on scheduling these events and going through getting people to talk at these events, and also making sure that if these events don't go well, to get up a backup plan. And you guys had a lot of experience with that, by the way. It was from the first, not the first day actually, the first day was quite smooth, but from the second day all the way up to the fifth day were all scheduled events on the fly. Let me just ask Subramani here to actually come up and give a bit of an introduction. You may have heard this already and you may not have, about himself and about what he believes about the events team. And he can tell you about a bit more about it. Over to you.
Pranav, could I request? Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Yeah, okay. No, I need a couple of minutes because I think the link that you sent to Mr. Raidu is not working.
Oh,
So
okay.
I need to send him the link that you just forwarded me. Just give
Okay,
me a
okay.
couple of minutes. You just get on with the next item. I'll join you
Sure,
back.
sure.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Well, apart from the events team, we've got two other teams. We've got the marketing team, led by Kshitij. And this team focuses on bringing you the latest news. As community members, you guys get everything that we do right up front. And the marketing team is what brings you this news. Let me quickly pass it over to Kshitij here to introduce himself and a bit about what he does at the marketing team. Just a few words, Kshitij.
Hello, I'm Kshitij, and uh, at the marketing team, mostly I like say, like all the advertisements uh, and mostly the promotions that we record and do on Vidyadrishti. I share it on all the social media platforms, and yeah.
And finally, we have the testing team led by Kavya. The testing team tests, well, as you guessed it, all the stuff that we as developers, make. So I'd quickly pass it over to Kavya if you're here to talk a bit about yourself. Quick introduction about you and the testing team, if you can. Uh, oh, I think she may be.
Okay,
Okay, there we
I
go.
can do that. Uh, the testing team is, well, Pranav summed it up quite well. Whenever there's like a new update or any new changes to the app or anything, the testing team tests it um, first before it's released. And about myself, I really don't know what to say. My name is Kavya. I'm 11 years old, and yeah, that's all I can think to say about myself.
All
Sorry,
right,
I'm quite
Okay,
bad
Pranav,
at
I'm
introduction.
that's
back.
fine. Okay, so we have Subramani here. He's from the events team. Could you talk a bit about yourself and
Yes,
what you do at
thank
the
you very
events team?
much, Pranav. Thank you. And hello, everybody. This is Subramani. And my professionally, I work as a journalist, and I work with the Deccan Herald as a journalist. That's my professional background. At this moment, Mr. Raidu Dhananjaya is joining us, and let me just welcome him. And okay, so I
Yeah.
take care. Hello, sir. Yeah, well, we take care of the. I'm part of the events team with Vidyadrishti, and my role is basically a mentor. I just I'm an overseer of things, and where a bit of a hand holding is required, I do, and I use whatever connections that I have to help Vidyadrishti kind of get be understood by people in a wider sense, and then get more people to come and address the young crowd here, the young members of this platform, so that they get knowledge, two, they get the exposure that they require, and three, they produce good content, because people like Pranav and Kavya, they already have the potential in them to produce brilliant content. They are already doing a lot. So my job is basically to set up events, set up for example, the writing campus. Myself and Pranav, we work together to do this writing camp. So these are the kind of stuff that I do with Pranav. With the good thing about Vidyadrishti is that with Pranav and others involved, Vidyadrishti runs itself. I don't, I don't really have to interfere much, and which is actually a blessing for all, because it's wonderful to see these kids. I don't want to call them kids, because kids could sometimes sound a little pejorative. I don't want to call them that. I would like to call them as young wise people. This fearless young warriors, they do a lot of stuff which I wish I could have done when I was their age. Of course, I didn't. So that's the reason why I'm kind of drawn and attracted towards them, because I get a lot of their energy, and I give back whatever little I have in terms of experience, and that's how the exchange has been going. And I guess the wavelength is okay, and so it's going on that way. So that's who I am and what I do, and I rest here.
All right, thanks for that. A very, I guess, in some senses, it kind of explains to you the functioning of Vidyadrishti. Well, to talk a bit more about who we're looking for in terms of recruitment, it really includes anyone of, well, any age, except if you're like 4 years old or something. We're looking at especially younger talents, teenagers. You're welcome to join up. We would love to have you aboard. And even people with a substantial amount of experience are welcome to join in. Uh, that could be the expertise could be used in. Our main criteria, in fact, for people joining is essentially if you have the determination to go ahead and make a change. That's the kind of people we're looking for. People with a determination to go ahead and make a change in the world. Okay. So, in fact, there's a question for 150 words at least in the form where you can actually where you have to talk about your passion and what why what kind of a change you want to make. And so that's what we're looking for. So that's one part of it. So I urge you guys to link forces. Let's expand the entire core team of Vidyadrishti, and let's create a bigger impact with this team. Other than that, he might actually be watching. I'm not too sure, but I'd like to give a quick shout out to Mr. Akshay Serv. And the reason for that is coming back to the website, he's helped us with a lot of styling. He's not here on the meet today, but our website used to look terrible. You probably wouldn't want to look at it when it was in its infancy in December. Now, our site's look and feel has been improved. It can be used on mobile on pretty much almost any screen size, except if you have like a 2.45-inch screen. And it can be used on desktop, laptop, and tablet. And the experience is the same whether you use Chrome, Brave, Safari, Firefox, or anything. It's exactly the same. So quick shout out to him because he's helped us out with that. Another thing that we've actually changed in the past is the way that we handle articles. We went from the start from a completely weird system of handling articles where uh, admins had to accept everything to a more slicker system. Um, and now, today, I'm announcing the entire admin system is going to be removed, mostly at least, which means that if you're submitting an article, it will go straight onto the site, no intermediate steps. You can get your work right there for people to look through. However, just do note that it will be later on put through checks, and if your work does not meet certain guidelines that we'll be uploading in a day or two, it will be removed. So you can clearly get your work across to more people. And I just want to talk a bit about the kind of work that we encourage in our site. Well, we encourage all types of written pieces. We call it articles and blogs, but really that's a misnomer because we encourage everything under the sun. Let me give you some examples. We're going to be starting a weekly set of columns. And in these columns, we're going to be having, for example, some people talking about tech reviews, some talking about gaming, and some talking about anime, manga, and even some talking about movies. So it's anything, stories, articles, blogs, facts, a dictionary if you want, anything that you want to upload onto the site is accepted and welcome. We also do encourage comments, especially constructive ones, where you guys can take advantage of the comment system in which you can actually just write your feedback and your thoughts. Finally, I'd like to talk a bit about email notifications. Starting from this week, we'll be delivering article notifications and comment notifications on your articles directly to your mailbox, which means that you won't have to keep scouring the website and looking through every day. You will know when there's a comment and you can go right then and there to reply to the comment or to go through your article again. We truly think this is going to improve the user experience and the interaction levels of our website. Now, let me talk a bit about our events as well, which I started with. So we started out in terms of events with just monthly events. Well, we had one event a month, and then we have two. This time, we're going to be having one event every week. All right. And while I'm at it, let me quickly call Moksh, which is actually the last part of my keynote, to quickly talk about our most recent event, the Global Accessibility Awareness Day event, or the GAD event. Moksh, over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Pranav. So on the 20th of May, we actually celebrated Global Accessibility Awareness Day. And for those who don't know, actually, it's short for GAD. And it's actually pretty self-explanatory. So Global Accessibility Awareness Day is basically about spreading awareness about accessibility, making the entire world cognizant about accessibility and the importance of accessibility in daily life. Because we at Vidyadrishti, as Pranav has already spoken about, we believe in inclusion. And therefore we believe that we should have an event to commemorate Global Accessibility Awareness Day and to reach out and to help spread awareness about the importance of accessibility. And so what we focused on was mainly the technical aspects of accessibility. For example, making websites and applications accessible for everyone. And so we had an event where we had a panel discussion on Zoom, which was live streamed to YouTube. And we had the pleasure of speaking to Karen. So she is actually a project manager at Google, and she has low vision. So it was fascinating listen to hear her journey and her experience with accessibility and how she struggled and tackled all her issues relating to her low vision and how she was able to overcome all her challenges and become a very adept IT professional, as well as an amazing author as well. So that was an extremely fascinating listen at the beginning of the session. And following that, we actually had a panel discussion where we had Mr. Akhilesh Malani. He's also part of the Vidyadrishti team, and he is actually an accessibility tester for Tech Mahindra. So you could say, after a fashion, he was the expert for us on the topic, and we did actually kind of drill him with a few questions, and it was really, again, fascinating to listen to his insights. And I think Pranav has already shared the link with y'all, or he will be sharing the YouTube link with all of y'all. And I would really recommend y'all having a listen to the video where Pranav has actually cut down most of the unnecessary bits. So it'll be a really valuable video for everyone who wants to become cognizant about accessibility. And other than Mr. Akhilesh Malani, we also had Mr. Subramani Lakshmi. I think he already gave you all his own introduction. He is a journalist at Deccan Herald, and he spoke to us actually how he since he is visually impaired, how he did struggle with accessibility and technology earlier before laptops and screen readers became a mainstream thing. And that was also really inspiring to listen to. And then of course we had Pranav. I don't think I need to give any introduction to him, and myself as well. And even I also asked Akhilesh about a few questions about accessibility, because I was a little late into using screen readers and laptops myself. So it really helped me expand my horizon of knowledge about accessibility. Yeah, so that was what we had in our discussion, and we actually spoke.
Could you please elaborate, because Mr. Raidu is here? So just give a little more idea on what a screen reader does, so that he will get an idea.
Sure. So what a screen reader does is essentially for people who are actually unable to view the screen. The screen reader plays a role of actually reading out everything that is there on the screen. So everything that a sighted user would be able to see on the screen reader actually relays that to the user through audio. And also any key that you press on your laptop, the screen reader will convey that to you as well. So it essentially makes it possible for people who can't actually view their laptop screens or their keyboards to actually use laptops. So that's what screen readers are. And then in addition to talking about screen readers, we did also converse about how many startups and tech companies or any other companies in general that do have websites and applications, how they should be implementing accessibility and why they should actually be implementing accessibility. And as Akhilesh did say, it is really important for most businesses and companies to include accessibility and accessible features into their applications or websites in order to make them inclusive for everyone. But the main reason that he thought that this was not actually being implemented forcefully enough was that there were no regulations in place. And so we actually do believe that that some regulations should be put into place to help enforce certain accessibility rules and certain accessibility mandates when you are actually creating a website or application. And then we did also get a few more tidbits about how Pranav actually makes accessible applications and how and how Pranav actually makes accessible applications. And he did ask a few technical questions which are out of my field of competence, unfortunately, as of now. So I really recommend that you all have a listen to the GAD video which Pranav has created for you all, which he has actually cut down the informative panel discussion that we have. And so yeah, that was what the GAD event was. And back to you, Pranav.
Thank you, Moksh, for that very elaborate, introduction to the GAD event. And before we move on, I'd like to call on Mr. Akhilesh Malani to quickly talk 2 minutes about his own experience being the person questioned at the GAD panel. Akhilesh, could you share a few words with us?
Hey, hi all. I'm Akhilesh Malani. Already Moksh has introduced to me. So basically, I'm also a late blind person, and the importance of accessibility. Like I have been craving it for since I turned blind, the age of 14, when I didn't had awareness or knowledge that there is something called you know a talking computer or anything which can help me to use the gadgets. But later when I grew and I came to the real world, so I found yeah that the computers can speak. So at that moment I decided that okay, fine, then my aim would be to become a software engineer and I can attain it. Now there won't be any barrier apart from the regular one. So yeah, so these things like it really made me to think about accessibility, and because of which I got into accessibility. And I'm working in IT for almost I have worked for 11 years now, among which I have exclusively worked for 9+ years in accessibility. And currently I'm leading a team at Tech Mahindra for accessibility testing and solutions. Yeah.
Thanks, Akhilesh. That was very informative. But enough rambling. I'm sure we must have bored you to death quite a bit. Let's get on to the main event, shall we? Something that you all, especially the two contestants here, have been waiting for the past 1 or 2 weeks, the report competition. Could I call on Mr. Subramani Lakshmi, please, to give us a quick introduction about what exactly this competition was and what were the agendas of the competition? Over to you. Oh, he may have uh, something there.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Sorry, there's some issue with the unmute problem. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
No. What was that? What was that?
Right. Okay, so if you could quickly just talk a bit about the introduction to the report competition, a bit about what.
All
it
right.
was.
Okay. Yeah. So let me talk about the report competition. See, as you all know, that this function is actually the culmination of the Vidyadrishti, writing camp that we had, in which we had a fair bit number of participants. As a part of the camp, I conducted, this reporting competition. I conducted a class basically on how to do reporting as a journalist. what is journalistic writing, how to do it, and so on. And in continuation of that, we also organized the reporting competition. That is, we did a mock press conference in which our very good friend Moksh played the role of Karnataka Health Secretary, and he was questioned by the participants, who played the roles of reporters. And what we thought was, whoever has written exceptionally good reports, we will give them cash awards, and sorry, the gift coupons from Amazon. And so that's the bit about the reporting competition. And today we are going to adjudge the winner of the competition. We wanted actually three to choose from. Actually, we have two. And after two submissions, we're going to choose the best one. Am I right, Pranav?
Yep, you're right.
All right, so that's the thing. So let's get on with it, and we'll finalize.
Yeah, so let's actually start by reading each one. We've got Kshitij here to read out. And once Kshitij finishes, Mr. Lakshmi, if you could actually ask one of the contestant themselves, actually, a few questions about their experience and about the report itself, that would be great.
Yeah.
So let's actually start with Hoor Janwala, who wrote quite a good report on the situation. Kshitij, could you read that document out for us, please, the report?
Yeah, sure. Government of Karnataka has asked for 10,000 oxygen cylinders to the central government. 200 doctors and nurses who are capable of conducting COVID tests. The government has arranged 12,000 beds into open COVID centers in community places. Along with this, the government has opened vaccination camps into open areas such as parks. Informed Minister Jhaveri there is a significant drop in cases, but we are still facing quite a few number of deaths, said Mr. Jhaveri. The stores are open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The government has been proving some amount of money, has been providing some amount of money to the poor business persons to keep them going smoothly after the pandemic, informed Mr. Jhaveri. Mr. Jhaveri appreciated the doctors and nurses who have been doing their best to help mitigate the crisis. As the health secretary said, the situation is slowly starting to get better. Let's hope for the situation to get back to normal.
All right, if you could now have Hoor Janwala up, and sir, you can ask her a few questions.
Okay. Hoor, okay, now how did you go about with the process? I mean, can you explain? Did you take point by point and then elaborated them into paragraphs?
Yes, sir. Actually, firstly, I listened to the recording many a times, for about 5 times, and then I took down some of the points, um, and then I wrote this report.
Wonderful. And okay, I should tell you what is so good about your report. Your report contains statistics, numbers. These are very important. When you write a report, first of all, you should put down the numbers and then put them in a context. Context meaning, this number should make sense, because if you ask the central government for 10,000 uh, oxygen cylinders, it specifies a context and a number. So you have done that very well. So and also you captured the essence of what he said, the open setting up oxygenation centers in the open spaces, and so many factors that you managed to capture in your report. So that's the plus point. But you could have written a little longer report. Your report is slightly short. That's I think, but that's not a problem. I wouldn't say that's a problem, but that's something that we can work on. But I specifically like the fact that you can be a journalist even today, because you got the point. You got the idea. You know how to write, collect information and write a report. I think these are the two basic requirements of a journalist, and you've done that very well. So congratulations to you. Let's
Thank you
hold
so
on.
much, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Bye.
All right, that was great. Can we move on to Shiva Reddy now? Kshitij, can you read the report first?
Yeah, sure. All you need to know about the COVID situation in Bangalore. Karnataka's health secretary here on Friday admitted that the situation in Bangalore is grim and expressed concern over increasing fatalities. On the other hand, the secretary expressed happiness over the subsequent decline of about 1,500 positive cases in the state. When asked regarding the oxygen crisis and the vaccination drive, Mr. Moksh confirmed that he, along with the chief ministers, placed orders to the central government for supply of more oxygen and beds to Bangalore. He also assured that the vaccination drives would go on without any halt, preferably in open spaces like parks, so as to curb the spread. As far as the side effects post-vaccination are concerned, the health secretary clarified that the required medicines are being provided and the recipients are being asked to wait for some more time before leaving the center. As far as the extension of the lockdown, the secretary hinted on no further extension as Mr. Modi stated that the lockdown should be opted merely as the last resort. He expressed gratitude to the masses for their full cooperation and felt happy about instances of any violence not reported from the people of Karnataka. He further clarified he further clarified the curbs will be in places and urged the public to go out for essentials only during the permitted times. He further stressed online education is the only way until the situation becomes normal. Regarding the provision of electronic gadgets and Wi-Fi facilities to poor students, the secretary informed that with the help of many mobile companies, the beneficiaries got the mobile phones and laptops in the past and assured the continuation of program. With regard to the Wi-Fi, the secretary mentioned that the government is also planning to provide small routers to the beneficiaries as well. As far as the awareness is concerned, he said that the government is doing its best to impart the necessary awareness and urge the public to be self-conscious. Regarding the online frauds, the secretary left it to shrewdness of the public.
Thank you, Kshitij. Let's have Shiva up here and let's ask Mr. Lakshmi, you could go ahead and question him.
Oh, thank you. Shiva, first of all, again, I think this report stands out for two things. One is your ability to crystal down the important aspects of what Moksh spoke that day, uh, and of course, you have also covered it at a certain length. That's what I mean. The facts are important, but at the same time, you have to cover the entire facts, and also it should be long enough to sort of get the uh, make an impact on the readers. So you've done these two. So what is your process? How did you do this?
Hello, sir. Hope I'm audible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I thought of actually listening to the entire recording, but I felt it's so cumbersome. So I did not, to be honest, listen to the entire recording. But fortunately, noted down all the points. When the session was going on. So I made sure to cover all the points. As listening to the entire recording would take, as listening to the entire recording would take a lot of time. So I tried to cover almost all the aspects and made quite a lot of editings and made sure it's grammatically correct, made sure I follow all the norms that you've talked about.
Wonderful. And but there is one issue with your reporting. Can you understand what that is if I ask you that?
Maybe usage of passive voice, if I'm not wrong.
No, no,
The
no, no,
active
no, no,
voice,
nothing to do with the language. Nothing to do with the language.
statistics.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Yeah. So you should,
Okay.
for example, see, I don't compare anything. Basically, it's like comparing apples and oranges. You can't compare two people the way they report. But I'm just pointing out that you've just said that they have placed orders with the central government. Whereas Hoor has said that it's 10,000 oxygen. See, it makes a difference, right? When you specify
True, true.
a number, it makes a difference. But please don't think that I am poking a hole into it. I'm only trying to
No,
say
no,
that
never.
where you can improve. But you've done a phenomenal job in terms of the extent of your coverage. See, when you go for reporting, any reporting, you should cover it with the best possible extent. It should be more. That's where I think she is falling short. But definitely, your report is extensive in terms of what you've done. Now I am left with, thank you very much, by the way. Thank you. Now I am left with the arduous task of selecting one of you for the
Yeah, but
prize.
before that, we have a few things. Before we actually go to that, firstly, let me ask. I'll start with Hoor and then go to Shiva. What was your experience in this entire exercise in terms of reporting and collecting information? Let me start with Hoor. Your experience in throughout this entire project.
Yes, actually, it was a wonderful experience. I thought I won't be able to write because the day before I wrote the report, I got vaccinated, and I had I had a tremendous fever, and it was horrible. Still, I decided to write it anyway. So still, I found it so wonderful. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
go to. Yeah. Well, thanks for participating. Let's move on to Shiva. Shiva, what do you have to say about it in terms of your experience about writing?
I mean, if you don't feel that I'm bragging about myself, and I have been reading the Hindu paper like, in a sense, a long time. I have the experience of reading many reports, reading almost like all the headlines as well as the editorial page of the newspaper. But I never went on writing, and I did not. I never thought that I would be writing a report. I generally used to post any comments if I feel like, but I never myself wrote any report. But this has given me an opportunity and the first-hand experience as to how a report has to be written.
Okay, thank you. But before we go on, in fact, we're running a little early today for the first time. Before we go on to what you're waiting for, let's keep you in some suspense, shall we? For our chief guest. So our chief guest is Raidu Dhananjaya. And rather than me talking much about him, let's just have him give a little bit of an introduction about himself and a quick talk about his own journey. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pranav. It's been amazing time I am having right now since last 40 minutes. I think thank you and thanks Subramani for inviting me for this event, culinary event. It's been great so far. And I see Hoor Zinwala and Shiva Reddy also participated in the competition on writing, and both have unique skill sets. I know that reading is different than writing is different than reading, but when you combine both, you would master one another, right? Great to hear from both of them, and thanks to all of you to inviting me here for this event. So coming back to myself, I've been in the IT industry since last 25 years now, and prior to taking up the IT job, I was also a teacher. I was also a lecturer in engineering college here in Bangalore. I am born and brought up in Karnataka, that is in Bellary. Hope you all know about it, right? Since from there, I did my diploma and then in Bellary, and then engineering in Bangalore. After the engineering in the same college, I became a lecturer I was teaching almost for 2 years. From there, I transformed myself into the software industry. From there, I have never stopped. I just kept on moving, one step at a time and growing further. So I've been, I was in US almost for more than 15 years. And in 2010, I came back to India and set up my own company called Stixis Technologies. So that's in Bangalore. We have an office we have a development center in US, and also we have a sales office in South Africa. So my passion is always is about technology. My passion always is being taking care of the customers. My passion is always about the people. Whoever recognize people, whoever is performing either in the company, outside, whether they be it my friends, my well-wishers, my colleagues, and so on. So that is where I come from. Now, by looking at this group, I'm so inspired from all of you that you've been doing a great work and you have a passion towards several things. And I also heard Pranav stating that you've been developing the website, right? I just saw that Vidyadrishti.net website. I think that is coming along well. I want to say only one thing. You all have a great passion, and you have to develop on that passion going forward. Nobody can stop you at any point of time when you have such a passion, So I would like to be part of it. I would like to be part of your growth, going forward. And I want to contribute to your success. So that's all I can say right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again for inviting me here to participate in this event.
Thank you for speaking. That was a wonderful small tidbit of a speech. It was wonderful to listen to. Well, let's get to your final event. But before we do, I'd like to ask a quick word from Mr. Lakshmi before he gives us the result, to talk about his experience watching the entire press conference take place and his experience judging your reports. A quick few minutes. Over to you.
Right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was. See, I've been a part of many press conferences, and I had the privilege of listening to. See, I was reporting on tennis. Some of you may not know that. I mean, some of you may even ask how a blind person can write about tennis. Tennis is the easiest game to report. You know why? Because the umpire is going to tell you the score, right? And if you have watched the game, if you follow the game a little bit closely as I did, you only have to ask which player played what shot. If somebody's played a forehand cross court winner, that's all you need to know. So you got to make note of it, and then you have to write a report. It's much easier, actually. So on that score, I had the opportunity of interviewing people like Mark Philippoussis, Leander Paes, Guillermo Cañas. Okay, so I think I must stop here. Okay. So having listened to all that, and of course so many tech press conferences, it was very different for me to listen to two people who are playing. It's a role play, basically. It's not a press conference, it's a role play. These participants are playing the reporter's role, and Moksh Javeri played that incredibly excellent role of the health secretary of Karnataka. And I should say that he spoke with a lot of authority, and he said a few things that was a little funny, but in the end, I think he played it very well. uh, See, the whole process is again to just give you a taste of what it is to be writing news. Okay. So that was wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one of them now, but both Hoor and Shiv, I'm going to make you an offer that I'm going to take both of you under my wing, and I'm going to teach you not just writing. I'm going to teach you editing and also feature writing. The advantage of feature writing, you can actually propose to newspapers that you're going to write about a certain thing. You can get your article published and you will be paid for that. Do you like that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It
sir.
sounds really interesting.
Okay, so
Okay, don't share. Yeah, don't share the winner now.
No,
We
no,
have
no.
to
I'm
keep
going to
them
do.
under
I'm not going to
suspense.
do it now.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. No, no. We can't keep it too long. I mean,
we
it'll
can't keep it too
be.
long. No, but
We'll have to end the function. So, let's better.
exactly. Before we do that, there are two more things that I have to do. One of them is call up our health secretary, uh, Mr. Javeri, or
Yeah.
Master Javeri. How was your experience being the so-called health secretary?
So I think it was really an enjoyable experience for me to impersonate the health secretary. And as Mr. Subramani said, I did say a few funny things because I do believe that it's always important to enjoy as well as learn. So I really enjoyed playing the role of the health secretary and giving the contestants the information that they require to write their report. And it also helped me to understand how press conferences actually work and to prepare me in the future. Maybe if I were to ever give a press conference, I would have such a mock experience of a simulated press conference. So it was a really enjoyable experience, and it helped me to hone my skills in answering spontaneously and managing to keep humor as well as giving them the right information that they required.
Great. Before we go on, let's actually do it in the conventional way, shall we? Let's roll the quick 30-second countdown audio that we just found. And the winner is, and Mr. Lakshmi, as soon as this audio ends, you can announce the winner.
All right.
Let's go.
And now, the winner for this competition is Shiva Reddy.
Good job.
Thank you so much, sir.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now I know that we have Mr. Raidu not physically present. I mean, handing over the thing won't be possible, but I've
I know.
actually called him to just say a few words and then virtually do the handing over.
Handover.
I mean, it's like a virtual handover. It's not a physical handover.
I mean, yeah, thank you so much, Subramani. Shiva Reddy, congratulations. Even though you said, you're trying to read a lot of readings from Hindu newspaper, and you're the first time you're writing it. I mean, that is awesome. That's awesome that you're winning this award. Congratulations to you. Okay. And looking forward to many articles in future, many writings in future. I know Subramani will guide you and also Hoor to get to the feature writings. Congratulations. Hoor, congratulations to you as well. And being in that situation of having so much of fever and taking the vaccination, even though you wrote this article, I think that's great. Keep it up. Congratulations to you as well. And here you go. So as a winner, Shiva Reddy, you have been awarded from a virtual basis. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your feedback means a lot.
Let me ask Mr. Lakshmi here. How close was the competition? How hard was the decision?
Very tough to judge. Let me be very honest. That's why I said there were certain points in Shiva's writing which I could have taken into account. There are certain positive points from Hoor which I also took into account. But in the end, what was the difference is the length of the story, the extension of the coverage. That is the decider for me. Otherwise, both were equal. It's like an athlete, reaching the end point by just a matter of a few seconds. That's how it felt. And as I said, because I did not select her, that did not mean that she did it badly. Okay, Hoor, my commiserations to you. But as I told you, both of you, you know what? My passion in life is, a lot of people have asked me, why haven't you produced another journalist with vision impairment? I said, I people just come and ask me for a job. People say that I do media studies. Could you please get me a job? I don't. I'm not in a position in Deccan Herald where I can offer you a job. No, definitely not. And you should also understand that it's a diverse environment. It's a very tough deadline. It's a very, very taxing environment. I'm not really sure whether I can vouch for everybody. But what I can do is to prepare somebody who can step up to this challenge and then prove themselves. Okay, so I want both of you to come with a lot of fire in your belly, a lot of passion to achieve more, and achieve through your, sweat, blood, and tear. That's how I have done it, my dear friends. I see. I was blind when I was 18 years age. 18 years of age. I have my memoir is lights out. You can read. I've written the process of how I went blind. It's published by Random House, and from that point on, 91, 98, I became a journalist. What, 7 years, 6 years, 7 years. So what brought me is nothing but hard work and support from other people. A lot of people have supported me. My own brother supported me, my family supported me, my friends supported me. So I can be that support to you. I can be that called springboard to you. Now, what you do with me is entirely up to you. But I promise you one thing: if you really practice well as a writer, you can earn out of writing, and you can actually stand on your own two legs. You don't have to worry about job losses. Nothing is going to worry, because writing, there's always demand for good content. Okay, Mr. Raidu, he's been in the business for a long time, and he knows. He would have dealt with a lot of marketing people, communication people, and
Absolutely,
he would know.
Subramani. Absolutely. You are
Yeah.
absolutely correct.
Yeah, so see, there is a person who from the industry who tells this. Okay, so it is entirely in your hands. It's entirely in your hands. I am all yours. I'm an open book. I don't hide anything. I'm not going to put up a board and charge fees. Nothing. It's all, my community has to grow, and I need people with blindness to be dignified individuals who are also self-sufficient, and who live happily and contentfully, like the way I do. So I'm all yours. So we'll set up the whole conversation later. But anyway, congratulations to Shiv Reddy. You did it, man. You wrote, I don't know, whatever made you write that extra few paragraphs, that has won you this award.
Let me quickly ask both our reporters here. Let me start with Shiv. How does it feel to be at the podium today?
Oh, I mean, it is not at all looking like a virtual, and I'm just feeling I'm being actually awarded, really. And it's really, as I told you, it's really a great experience of writing a report, as my report is the first report I've ever written.
What was your thoughts when, especially in those 30 seconds when the countdown was going on before the winner was announced?
Naturally, whenever any report has to be any result, not just now, since my childhood, whether I win or not, my heart just pounds. Whether irrespective of my winning, but I generally don't get disappointed, even if I lose, but I just have that kind of sensation, that kind of excitement, and that was actually there, and the music actually added to it.
Yeah, I think it must have been like a crunch moment when those the countdown beeps were being played, and it was just, it was being put off continuously, right? Uh, Also, I'd like to ask you, especially when you got to know today that your only, I wouldn't say competitor, but the only other person who was writing a report was Hoor, knowing that even she actually even attends a writing college. That was the situation. Did you have any thoughts of your chances, or did you just come into this thinking, it's all for learning?
No, I never wrote it actually to compete. I just wrote, as I has been repeating. Sorry for boring you. Just to have some experience.
Yeah, no
That's it.
problem.
Just to have some experience of writing a report.
Oh, okay.
And I've been in touch with Hoor actually. Hoor actually asked me regarding the recording, and
Okay. That's great.
yeah, I've been even in touch with.
That's great. So congratulations again. You did quite well, in fact. Your report. Even I got a chance to read it earlier on, and I really enjoyed reading it. So congratulations.
Yeah, and I still remember how I pestered you. Did that article reach the admin page or not? Did that article reach that page? Again, I'm kind of a little adamant. No, sorry for
It's
bothering you
fine.
so
It's
much.
fine. Well, next time you write, you won't have to worry about the admin page. It's gone.
That's the main point actually that made me happy, because I just thought about you. You asked for it.
Right. Well, I don't manage it. The entire content team does. But even you won't have to wait for your article to actually be published. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Hoor here. Hoor, firstly, you did a wonderful job too. I actually got a chance to read yours as well earlier, and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Pranav.
Just like Mr. Lakshmi here, we call him, well, we call him Subramani. Just like he said, I couldn't have, if I was judging, identified a winner. I couldn't have picked one. It would have taken me days to do it myself. So it was very, very hard. Trust me.
Right. I want to congratulate Shiva, and I was very sure of him being a winner.
I'll ask you the same question. What were your feelings in those 30 seconds before the final result was announced?
Yes, I was sure that his name is going to be announced after 30 seconds.
Okay. So, what is your kind of? I'm gonna ask you this as well. What is your kind of takeaway from this entire process, this entire exercise? The entire process of writing the report.
I got to know that I can write a report.
No.
Well,
You did a fantastic job of it. Let me tell you, as I told you, it was just a matter of a few inches. That's all, a few column centimeters.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
and so it was really great. Also, I want to ask you this: how did you manage to write a report after taking a COVID vaccination? Because that's not an easy thing to do.
Right. Still, actually, I think I was determined to write it.
Okay.
So
That's
helped.
it's
I think
it's
I think you're already becoming a reporter, because as reporters we have to ignore our pains and troubles, and there are so many days when I used to have a very bad night's sleep, and the first morning we'll have a press conference, and then we'll have to write. So I think it's a good preparation for you. So
Thank you.
So my last question to you is: Did this ever cross your mind? You said you're writing right after, or you're writing your report amidst the after effects of your vaccination, your COVID vaccination. You're writing a report on COVID amidst the after effects of COVID vaccination. Did that coincidence ever cross your mind?
No.
Yeah, it just came to me, and that was the first thing that I thought. I'm like, oh, sure, she wrote a report about COVID when she was going through COVID vaccination, or after COVID vaccination. So again, congratulations. You did a very, very good job. And it was, again, a very close. It came down to the nail. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, just to add to Subramani about the future of the content, right? Today, the world is looking at digital content, right? It's all digital content. How you want to envision, how you want to write, it's all in your hands. It's on your palms. So that's going to be the future. It's not only how it should look like, even though a person who is great at technology, great at designing the user experience and everything. But the key is the content writing. And that's where you all will be very, very important to the digital world going forward. So think about and keep that in your mind and build your passion towards content writing. That will take you to not only the next level, but definitely that will take you to reach your goals, ambitions, and aspirations. Just wanted to add my 2 cents to you guys.
So the last, I know you guys might be getting a little tired of the interviews, but the last one I want to take is of our health secretary, Mr. Javeri. Come up. Hi.
Hi, yeah, sure.
Let me ask you as well. What was your feeling during those 30 seconds?
Oh, Pranav, wait. See,
Yeah.
sir has said something very important. I don't know, you
Oh,
guys
sure,
have
go
not
ahead.
noticed it. See, just to emphasize on the point, see, we have built a platform here. So now it is our responsibility to create more content. And I understand from you that Hoor and Shiva are going to be a part of the content team, right? Would you like to work with us, guys?
Well, who is? Don't know about Shiva.
Okay. Anyway, I will be working with Shiva separately. So I know I just wanted to make a point because see, I know we are kind of little the rush of energy that we have now, but those points are very important, and I feel we should keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point you've risen. And I'd urge all of you to actually start writing content. We're looking, as I said earlier, we're looking for anything under the sun. And it would really give you guys some kind of, it would, if nothing else, bring out your ideas into the real world. So at the cost of sounding like a bit of a promotional guy, I would urge you to actually use our platform because you can write freely there. And there's no admin page to worry about now. So let's continue. Hey, Moksh, what did you feel about those 30 seconds?
So I actually wasn't thinking too much. I was just enjoying the music that you were playing for us. As you said, even I would have not been able to decipher a winner from those 2 reports. And I had no inkling of who was going to win. So, I was waiting expectantly to see who Mr. Subramanian actually decided was the winner. So that was really fun as well. So
I'd like to ask you, did you, of course, as you know, as someone who actually spoke and gave this information, how many of those facts were actually real? You can break the seal now. How many of the facts were actually real?
Mr. Subramanian actually sent me a legitimate report where I found some of these facts. So actually, a few of these facts were real, but I think in the interview, most of the facts were quite fabricated. And quite a lot of the answers that I gave were for humorous purposes. Because as I said, I believe that it's important to have fun as well. So some of those answers are quite humorous. And yes, I did take a few of the facts. Obviously, I'm not sure if I stated all the exact numbers correctly, but all the things about the beds and I think some of the stuff about the oxygen masks, I think that was something that was true. And also about the cases decreasing and stuff like that and the situation getting better. So those are some of the things that were true, but the rest of it were all shrouded in a veil of my own fabrications.
Right. The last question that I want to ask you is, I know I would be in a better position to say this, but I want to hear it from you. Can you tell us the story of Vikas from Kumar Times and your experience with that?
Yeah, so that was also one of the enjoyable aspects of the interview. As actually you impersonated one random journalist that you thought of on the fly, and you actually gave us a fantastic South Indian accent, which I really enjoyed, by the way. And you actually asked me some interesting questions, and to which I gave really interesting answers. So I think when Hoor and Shiva were listening to the recording, I'm sure they must have had a very good laugh when they heard that part, especially.
So great. I think you'd make a great health minister. You should surely attend politics.
And if I just can add, Moksh, you did really a great job actually.
Thanks a lot, Shiva. And congrats to you for winning.
The way you handle the interview, I always feel whenever I listen to the recording, you as if you are a real health secretary.
Yeah, I just try to go into the mind of how a health secretary would be, because as Pranav said that this event was constructed like I think an hour before, because the author who was supposed to speak was not well or something of that sort. So, and he asked who would like to volunteer, and so I decided to volunteer because I thought it would be a really enjoyable experience, and I just improvised a lot. I had not prepared at all. I just read Mr. Subramani's article for like just a minute before, and I just went into the head of the health secretary and I answered the
I'd like
question.
to inform you of another funny coincidence. Can someone here, except for the guys who were in the team, can someone here guess what happened exactly to the author? Can someone here give a guess? Well, it was the author had taken COVID vaccination and she was not feeling well. And the number of the coincidences that came out of it is actually quite striking.
It was.
So that was the entire event, and honestly, it was a lot of fun. Thanks to Moksh Javeri, aka Health Secretary, that we'll be calling him from now on. And congratulations to the both of you for
Thank
your
you so much,
reports. It
Pranav.
was actually wonderful. All right. So before we end, I'd just like to inform you guys, this has been a great camp. It has been absolutely wonderful to watch you guys come out and give your ideas. Especially, I believe you enjoyed especially the last few events where it was about storytelling and genres and stuff. I did too. And, it really makes us think about the different things that we can do in the future. So let me just highlight on a few things that we can and that we are going to be doing in the future, both in terms of the site, being a techie myself, and in terms of otherwise. Let me start with the big cherry on top. We're starting with the mentorship program. And this is quite a revolution. We, in fact, came up with it during the camp. And this program is basically tailored to pick anyone with writing needs and help them out. Can we have Mr. Lakshmi talk a bit about this mentorship program that we're going to start? Because he was the one who coined it. Over to you.
Yeah, Pranav. Okay, let me say that the mentorship program is the key because uh, we are seeing a lot of youngsters coming to this platform, and of course, this is a young and fledgling platform. It's been for about 4-5 months now. We have been active, but it is our responsibility as people who have grown up, people who have been in the industry for some time, to sort of lend a little support in the learning process, in the creation of knowledge process, in hand holding. And funnily enough, that's how I began with Pranav and his team, and at a different organization, and that's how Vidyadrishti was actually born. So we have to continue the tradition of mentorship. So there are two, rather three mentorship programs, or probably two. I would say two. One is the writing, and is the or journalism and writing mentorship, and the other is the book writing mentorship. Journalism mentorship, I'm going to do it, and I've already signed up two of you now. And there is going to be the book writing mentorship, fiction writing basically, which my good friend Ashwin Karthik will be doing. As you all know, Ashwin Karthik has cerebral palsy. Just for Mr. Raidu's benefit, I'm telling this. We have one Mr. Ashwin Karthik. Ashwin Karthik is about 33, 34 years of age. He was born with a condition called cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is basically a motor neuron condition where the coordination between the body and the brain is a little, not so developed well, but his brain functions well. So his voice may be a little slurred, and he's on a wheelchair and all that, but he could only use just two of his fingers, and he wrote two fictional books so far already. And
Wow.
before that, he was working with Emphasis, and he was a techie. He was a completely a programmer, and he is the first person with cerebral palsy in Karnataka, and probably the whole all over India, to do a bachelor's in engineering from Chikamagaluru. And This guy has got the best disabled employee award from President Pranab Mukherjee in 2013 or 14. And
Wow.
yeah, he's another exciting person to meet with. So he is going to mentor our people here on fiction writing and book writing, whereas I am going to mentor people on journalism and journalistic writing. So that those are the
Super.
two mentorship
Super.
programs that we have here, sir. And that's what. So we are there are two, you can see there are two strands running together here. One is the writing, communication, content strand, and the second strand, which Pranav probably need to elaborate to you more on a private call or a private communication, is the technology strand, which is where
Correct.
probably you and I are, you and probably you and all of us are connected, because we would like to create an absolutely phenomenal team of technically qualified people who can sort of create, actually this Vidyadrishti platform is, to be very honest with you, is a creation. We want to replicate the medium.com in India, where the content pays for itself. Content traffic sort of brings more traffic. Good content brings more traffic, and more traffic would mean there is a revenue for the writer. So that's the platform, the basis on which we have started. We started it for the young kids, budding writers. And we are in a way, along the way we learned that we can't just keep it just for the youngsters or any particular crowd. We need to be more inclusive. So we have thrown it open. Now it's open for anybody to write and create an audience for themselves, and probably monetize as we move along. So that is the strand that we would like to connect, is to create content that is on a good, that sits on a good technological a platform, which people can both consume and contribute. So that's about the mentorship and the whole ecosystem as such.
Oh, that's great. I think this is a great initiative. And, if you, Pranav, and everyone, right, if you need any of the infrastructure to build this content, right, whether it's a cloud infrastructure, whether it's on-premise infrastructure, please don't hesitate to ask me, and I will support you guys in bringing that infrastructure in for this kind of content storage, content building, and whatsoever it is from the technology perspective. I'm always there. I would like to get involved with Vidyadrishti platform, the value, what you all are trying to bring to the table. I want you to grow. That's my first and foremost request. You all need to grow in respective fields of what you like. And I know you have a great passion, and that'll take you a long way. And I am there. Again, I'm repeating, I want to be there with you guys wherever you need.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. No, first of all, let me thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's not these kind of initiatives are not never one person's journey or one people journey. It is basically a community journey. And I'm
Absolutely.
your the generosity of your heart is so touching, because what you have offered is not a small thing. I mean, it's uh, Pranav and I particularly know, even Akhilesh knows. Akhilesh is from Tech Mahindra, and then he's also volunteering his time here. But we all know that it's not easy to get infra, because infra is
Yeah.
the toughest thing to get. And Pranav has been juggling with, he's writing the code. But essentially, if you look at the website, Pranav is totally blind, but you look at the website, he has written the code, he has written
I
somebody
know.
has helped
I
him with the
saw that. Yeah.
user interface and stuff. But infra is what we have been struggling so far. And first of all,
Right.
please accept my sincerest thanks to you. And
Sure. Sure.
you are definitely a part of us. We are not anyway letting you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I mean, see, the infrastructure perspective, I know, some of the people they know, but uh, it is not. You need that. You need that foundation to build good content, and I'm
You
there.
do.
I know I'm always there to provide that for you guys, and let's do it together.
Yep. Sounds great. Thanks again from my side. It's really, really appreciated.
Thank
And
you.
we couldn't have hoped for better. So that's one thing. And the second one, well, the second of the three changes for us is both of these are in the website, by the way. We're now adding categories. Well, we have categories, but we're now adding your posts in terms of categories, which means that instead of cluttering the entire articles page with your posts, you're not to say your posts are bad, but it will look a little daunting. We're now dividing your posts in terms of the different categories that are there. So you will now be able to click on those categories starting from next week and view posts right in there, kind of like a
And
forum.
that also does search engine optimization. People
It
who
does.
search can also stumble on your post.
Yeah, exactly. So that will actually help out as well. Finally, let me talk a bit about um, smiles. Yeah. So what we want to do is kind of create a top trending list of articles per week. And the way to do that would be to factor in a lot of things. One of them is how many people like an article. But we don't have a like system, right? Wrong. At least not right. We don't have one right now, but we'll be having one by next week. The process is simple. If you like an article, just click the smile button, just smile at it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And you can look at the number of smiles you've got and things like that. But basically, smiling will actually show the person that you do like an article, that you did enjoy their writing. What will be required though is if you do smile at an article or even frown at one, which is if you didn't like one, you have to, if you smile at one, you have to write a comment. The application will not allow if you don't do this. If you write, you have to write a comment about why do you like the application, or sorry, why do you like the article? Huh. And if you frowned at it, about why you don't like it. And by that I mean constructive feedback. Okay, so that will be a requirement. But these are the three new or major stuff that we're going to be doing, apart from, as I said, weekly events, be it on writing or technology. So a lot of information to digest, right? This camp, as I said, has been a breeze. We've never had such involvement before. I'd like to congratulate all the camp members, even those who haven't attended right now, um, for being there and for going through everything that we did. Thank you all for being part of this community. This is just the beginning. And with this, we come to the end of the VD Writers Camp 2021. It was a great experience, and we're looking forward to having you all working with us in the future. Thank you for
And
attending.
for VD Writers Camp 2022.
And for VD Writers Camp 2022, exactly. It's going to happen. We're going to make sure it happens because you guys seem to enjoy it that much. So thanks for attending the camp. And I'd like to thank all the authors, and in fact, I've personally thanked them as well. I'll take the moment to personally thank Subramani here because I didn't thank him personally before. Thank you for taking your time out, especially on that day. In fact, both of your occasions, both of your sessions were actually planned in 1 hour in advance, right? You didn't really have much time, right? Can you correct me from
Yeah,
that?
that was at the last minute he asked me to take a session when my session was scheduled 2 days later, so I had to jump in without any preparation.
Exactly, and he has yelled at me enough about that. but I think we all at Vidyadrishti enjoyed the surprises that the entire world, the camp threw at us. And thanks to Subramani for actually speaking. I personally really enjoyed your writing, and I personally really enjoyed being Vikas from Kumar Times. And we'd like to thank, as I said, all of you who've taken your time off to attend the camp, and to the guys who wrote the report. Again, I'd like to congratulate both of you, Hoor and Shiva, for your reports. Your reports were wonderful, and I will surely be reading them more than once at least. So with this, we come. Oh yeah, and I forgot about this. I'd like to thank Mr. Dhananjaya for actually being our guest speaker today. It was an absolute treat to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you all for making me part of this event.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pran.
Yeah.
And I can't we
Thank
can't wait to work with you in the future as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with this, we come to the end of this wonderful event, and we will see you in, when will we see you? Oh, right, in the next event. And have a great Sunday. Well, have a great the next 6 hours.
Thank you.
With this, we come to the end, and we will see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks
Bye.
all.
Thank you all.
PD guys, please
Bye,
stay
thank
tuned.
you.
Bye all.
Yeah.